select one random person from that. So you had to zap somebody within 7 hours. You had to or and then pare it down to 21, and then it'll zap you. So if you hit this random button, it basically selects between any of these random numbers, or you can do your own custom, right? You can change the message in here, but I have a default one. Send your little gift, and it's selecting a random person. And then we're gonna, that's 777 sats, so we're gonna pay them 6-7 on the sats. And then there, Lucky J.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I've been doing that as kind of a morning routine, and it's pretty fun just to keep hitting random zaps and sending them. And you just never know who you're gonna help someday. And so sometimes it does pop up, no recipient found. It's like I don't want to say it times out. I think it selects somebody that fit the mold, and then their lightning doesn't work. There's the 2100 Saturn. Boom. And just for fun, while I have all y'all on here, let's throw a fatty out there. Just to make somebody's day.
Go,
We'll see. And the intention was to be like random, but to test this thing, I had to go to the fat zaps. And it does take away a little bit of the magic, but at least it's going to somebody. So this person got the 2100, and then there we reveal the 10,000 Saturn, which may or may not drop. It's oh, there you go. Somebody, man.
Ooh.
Lucky day. So we made somebody's day out there. So
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah. So anyway, hey Heather, sorry to steal the thunder. I was just showing off my little.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going, Mama? I'm definitely building. It's slow. This week was slow. I hit like a design bump, and I felt like as I was watching, like I was kind of comparing what Replit built and then what Shakespeare started trying to build, and I just started the project over again in Shakespeare. And I was realizing like I really need to get clear on and map out the design a little bit more, because it's the stuff that I have is like it's not ultra complex, but it's got a lot of like variables, and I don't want it to feel like overwhelming or just too much, in somebody's interface. So I was like trying to minimize, like for ADHD people, like how do we do stuff and have all the ingredients but not feel like, oh shit, it's too much at once. So I've been in the like, yeah, and then just like, yeah, just in the design mode, it's been I don't know, I haven't found exactly what I want yet. I've been playing around with some other app called UX Pilot, and it's like an AI builder, kind of like you can plug in your Figma stuff, but I don't know how to use Figma, but this will just design stuff for you. But I haven't been that excited about what it's designing there either. So anyways, it'll happen, but I'm a little bit, I'm not totally stuck, but I started building another app. That I'll tell you guys about it once it's done, and I'll show you. And yeah.
Going soon. Yeah.
I think there's. Well, I think what you're saying is also true with many designers. We need to be very explicit with instructions. Yeah. Humans have such good context.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey, Victor.
Hey. I sent you a bunch of Signal DMs. I think you should continue to like vibe code like Stacker News or Zapper News. Did you see my messages? No, you are so close. You have no idea. You're so freaking close. What's that? No, they're not real prompts, but I'm just saying, like, give it to Shakespeare because literally you only have like 3 things to fix, and then like that's like 90. I know, I'm like, it's terrible for me to say this, but I'm just like, bye Stacker News. Yeah, you should because like those 3 things are all you really need to fix as a preliminary demo, and then everything else is like, icing on the cake. Like, I shit you not. You're like, oh, I'm like, when I saw the data, like, did you see the posts? What I was like, wait, this is actually working, So like, just those 3 things. You should vibe code it here because I actually have to step out, but like, you should screen share and start that, like, share that with people because I think those are the only 3 things you need. You just need a relay picker. Just hide the ones that you can't zap, and then actually have the page where it actually shows you the content and the threading. Yeah. All right, I gotta run. I'll be back later, but you guys have a happy holiday. Happy holiday. Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Happy holidays.
Okay, I got. I know. If not, have a happy new year. Bye.
Yeah. Well, well, Heather, I mean, I know it's been like, way in the past, but your vibe coded Derek roast app, all like 3 days ago was a hit, and great job there. That was a unique idea, very creative. Only on us. Yeah, that's great.
That,
Well, it's funny. You messaged me and you're like, "Hey, we got this secret roast going on. Just let a few people know." And I start like DMing all these people, and then I turn around and Heather's like, "Fuck it, Derek, I'm gonna roast you now. It's not your birthday yet." But I was like, "Damn." Oh, okay. Yeah. Go, 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 go. Well, I prepared something the night before, and I actually went to like grok harsh mode, and like it was a little too heavy. And then I tuned it down a little bit, and I was like trying to find that healthy balance, and yeah, and I think I got it pretty good. But I still feel like mine was, it was one of the heavier hitters, right? Um, you know, but that's what you're supposed to. Oh yeah. No, it's only just begun.
oh, it's definitely a tradition.
But you have to add video. You're just gonna have to add like little video snippets. Yeah, right. Well, it's funny. He's just so memeable. He's created this world where he's
That's right. we'll have all of Nostr getting creative with this.
Mhm.
And who could you? Right? Could you?
Yeah, well,
Well,
that's the spirit, right?
no, I do think your app is brilliant, but I gotta question somebody who builds an vibe codes an entire app just to roast someone. Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Well, those are the things you don't realize. I'll say the pain points that I've learned along the way, like tagging people, like that's not just intuitive. It just doesn't auto add like the function to tag. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, like to set it up on the vibe code, right? And even like Zap totals and Zap aggregates and um I I put this little function in Zap Cooking this I literally put 10 hours in on Saturday just getting this damn front end trying to work, and it was just, ugh, painful, but I learned a lot. Well, yeah, and then there's a point where you're like, "You know what? I am not leaving until I get this figured out," and lock. Yeah. Yeah, I was doing that. I was standing up, like on my laptop, like I was gonna take my dogs for a walk, like trying to take a break, but I'm like, I gotta get this figured out. And I was clicking aggressively on my keyboard, like making real extra clicky sounds. And yeah, yeah, we got it. Hmm. Yeah. Squirrel. Yeah. Well, it is addictive though. Once you kind of get the hook. And can I share like my approach because I know like and I think it's helpful for like people to learn from other people and this is just me figuring it out over a long period of time and iterating and things like that. Um, but I like to. We talked about design. Like, can I share out my Zap cooking update? Not to take over, but I'll share what it is and how I got there. So this is the new page, the layout page, which I called Explore. Um, and I stole this idea from a app called Pepper. Now there's this fancy, normie app called Pepper, um, and I took the idea. So what I did, it's not pepper.com apparently, whatever the hell that is. And that looks like, yeah. Well, I think I have a VPN on, so it's taking me somewhere where I shouldn't go. Yeah. Anyway, so I basically took a screenshot of this app and I put it into, I was using Cursor and I said, actually, I took a screenshot and I put it into Chat GPT. I think it was Chat GPT I was using, and I said, I want to, have the layout of the categories page look like this. And then I said, create a prompt for me. So it would create a prompt, and then I would drop it in a Cursor, and it would go out and do what I wanted it to do, which was pretty cool. And then the little thing that I said I got really stuck on was this Discover New. It was doing trending recipes, which was like pulling the recent recipes. But this Discover New was semi-algo-y. So like every time you refresh, it should give you wink, wink. But basically what it's doing is going back 3 months and looking at recipes and pulling that to this feed here. So you should get a little bit of a different flavor every time you recycle the page. And then added these popular cooks, people who do it and stuff like that, and then the tags. But if I don't know if anyone remembers, this was like such an ugly portion of the page, and I wanted to make it like a landing portion of the page. So it's
Well, this is beautiful.
thanks. Old school. I had to find a developer and ask nicely with heavy sat donations back when Bitcoin was sub $30,000, and get someone to build the original Nostr cooking, and then I got another developer, Jack, who introduced to Val last week. We did the redesign, so kind of took it from Nostra cooking, which I've got a screenshot. I have a folder of some of these old looking things, and it's kind of fun to look at it over the course of, because it's like 2 years old now, right? This idea. Yeah, and so it was just this basic recipe sharing over Nostr, and pre vibe code tools, and so we built that, and then it was just iteration after iteration, a little work with Jack, and then a little work with some other people would chime in. We had Sarah, who was around for a while, and she kind of helped with some ideas on the project, and then so the cool thing about it is I've just been kind of like the owner of it and the pusher of it and the I guess in some old world executive of it, but all these people have come in and contributed to it. I think if you look at the code right now, we're 10 or 11 people who've contributed in different meaningful ways. So
Brilliant.
it's fun, and it's been cool to kind of get here, and next stage, I mentioned this at Nostra Valley too, is about like I'm actually starting to work on I have an Android emulator and going down that path and doing an iOS app. So those are the next few things, and our friend Daniel, New York Daniel, has been doing some work on some small details behind the scenes as well. So yeah, it's been pretty. What up, bro?
I just came from, for those of you in Central PA, which is only 2 of us, I just came from Bluegills. I was there to partake and witness 2 friends getting engaged, so that was cool.
Oh, where was that at? Bro?
At Bluegill in Alexandria.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So my friend got engaged, so that was really cool. Him and I have known each other since 1998, a long time. Yeah, I've known him through. This is his 4th engagement. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. You know what they say: the 3rd time you're married is the charm.
Well, the 3rd time's the one you learn the most, and then
Yeah, I think no, they're both great people. I love Steve. I love Sherry. They're good. I'm very excited, very happy for them. So I apologize for being late, but it was for love. So I think it's a good reason. Yes.
it's awesome.
Well, it's it's uh it's good. It's good.
We
It was
talked
a
about
lot to talk about that.
the roast of Derek Ross that occurred.
I think that was good because I woke up and I had a lot of content to read. But Seth, since you shared that in that group chat we have, like we had 3 non-Nostr users sign up to create Nostr and post on Nostr because of Heather's app.
Well,
So
it's funny.
roast or how we onboard the normies, I guess.
Well, and these are like, these are close normies that, Derek has been working, and myself as well, not as hard as Derek, working to get, friends onto Noster. And for this occasion, they were happy to, I mean, just instinctively just log on and roast Derek. It was like,
Well, yeah, like they did it without any type of coaxing.
yeah,
Like
didn't
I
even,
was really surprised, to be honest with you, that they did it. I just thought like they would just like go down and read, but no, they participated. So that was very cool.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
sorry you weren't here. Sorry you weren't here. Sorry you weren't here at the time, Derek. But we did already take a vote, and we decided it'd be a shame if we didn't do this every year.
No, it was good. It was really good. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, it was a good time, and just a cool use case of Noster, just in a spin up an app, and here you go.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say, that culture is upstream from decentralized, permissionless, open technologies.
Ooh,
I've heard that before.
he does. So, I have four things that I could talk about that I vibed over the past week. We can take a look at these and talk about how I built them and answer any sorts of pending questions that you may have. Would you like to get started?
Show us, Derek. Show us.
All right, I will show just some cool things that I made. Let me share my screen. And I actually made them in Shakespeare. That's the coolest thing, because a lot of time I actually don't use Shakespeare. I use Claude Code, but I've been trying to use Shakespeare more, and I'm going to share it. Okay. So the first thing I did with Shakespeare is I worked on Shakespeare.
Whoa.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I added, let's see, I got to show it on the Shakespeare side. I added, we're going to shrink this down here. All right, there we go. So on Shakespeare, it's not live yet, but I added this community page. So you click on this little icon down here. Show you again. You click beside the help. It may not live. It may not live here. Maybe we'll find a better place for it. But that's where I added it for now. You click on that, and it takes you to the Shakespeare community, where you can join the Shakespeare community chat. You can view upcoming IRL events. You can become a Shakespeare ambassador. It also shows you a short feed of anything that people were talking about with hashtag Shakespeare DIY. And if there are any upcoming events, it will show them here. The Hivetalk that we're in right now was actually on here until, I guess, 39 minutes ago. Once it
Yeah, I was
started,
going to ask, what's the
it's no longer upcoming. So these are. So what this does is it specifically. We're going to look up here. It specifically looks for NIP 52 events that come from Soapbox employees. It looks at the Soapbox follow pack, and it looks for events titled Shakespeare Workshop, and it displays them here. So if I put out an event, Alex puts out an event, Heather puts out an event, so forth, it will show up here.
cool?
And it just talks about the different channels we have in the community that I launched. Frequently asked questions. You can view all resources. This is the same as the resource link on our website. Quick fact. And when you're ready to join, it takes you to Flotilla and joins the Flotilla community. So I did that. Like I said, it looks at the Shakespeare. I'm sorry, it looks at the Heather. I called us by the wrong brand. It looks at the Soapbox employees and automatically populates events, pulls this information from Noster, and that's it. So pretty cool. Yeah. Now I used a little bit of Shakespeare and Claude for that. This one here is a local business. This is the one I really wanted to show you. This is a local business. My friend owns this business. It's a wedding lodge venue. I went to his website. You can see my prompt here. I said, I would like to redesign this into a modern marketing website. Visit the website and determine how to update it with a modern and informative design. The sections you should include, and these are the existing sections on the current live website. And then I literally copied all the text, copied and pasted all the text. You can see, look, I literally just copied it all. Copy, paste the whole entire website. And then Shakespeare built it all. It actually had one thing I needed to fix. You couldn't read two buttons. So I said the explore venue and call buttons are white on white and hard to read. So it fixed those. Like you couldn't read this. And then it generated, because Shakespeare can now generate images for you. So it generated a whole bunch of AI images, and then they looked great. But since this is an actual business, I didn't want AI generated photos. So I uploaded all of these photos. And when I uploaded the photos, I said, replace these generated images with these real ones. Use the hero for the hero image. Use the other images elsewhere in the site, but not in the gallery section, as I'll be uploading those later. So I uploaded these. And then I went down here and I said, here are the photos for the gallery. You can use the file name and look at the images to determine what to put about them. Good English there, Derek. In the gallery, and how to group them. So all these images were named side of deck, parking, kitchen, but I said you could look at the images. I mean, you could inspect the images, and then I uploaded all the images. And since Shakespeare can now read images and determine what they are, we'll show you the site here. It actually knew to group images for the gallery. It knew that this was the great room. It knew this was the outdoor amphitheater, knew this was ample parking. I didn't tell it to do any of this. It looked at the photos and figured that out. It went down here. It knew that since it looked at the images, it knew this was the exterior grounds, and all these photos it added. And it also, like, it labeled every single one of them when you mouse over them. Like, I didn't do any of that. I told Shakespeare to look at the images and figure it the hell out, and it did. Covered deck, again, I didn't tell it to do any of this. It looked at the images and realized this was a deck. It looked at the bridal suite and accommodations, so it figured all this out, labeling everything. And then the kitchen. Said, and then it said this was part of the copy and paste information that I had. So it rebuilt this whole website for my friend. All the policies, everything. And so that was basically me wanting to show how somebody that doesn't really know what they're doing, because I told him he could do this. And I said, you know what? Let me show you how to do this. Lastly, add a virtual walkthrough link in an appropriate location that matches the site's aesthetics. And I pasted the YouTube link. So where did it think the appropriate place was? Let's scroll back up. Right here, it added that prompted this whole thing. That's all for that today. I let AI be my designer here. I did not choose any type of design. And I only had to fix a little bit. It built this site for about $11, I believe, using Claude Opus. I think that's what it doesn't show you the cost now, but it did earlier.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's opening my eyes to some possibilities. These local businesses may not realize what all they can do.
So my thought here is, JBN, is to go to local. I mean, I did this 20 years ago when I was designing websites that weren't as good as this, but I went around to literally every single local business and said, hey, I can design you a website. And I was charging, $500 or, an amazing website, $1,000 or something like that, 20 years ago. Now I can redo their website for them. And I mean, whatever I want to charge them. I mean, I can charge them $50 if I wanted to.
There's so many shitty websites out there.
I mean, I could charge $50. That includes the design and me making it live and doing it for them. Like, so that covers my $25 of AI and then my, my half-hour phone call with them to get it to work or whatever. I mean, it's just a thought, right? And so today, my friend that owns this business, him and I went out to lunch, and when we were there eating lunch, I said, hey, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it a second time. So the place that we went to eat today in State College, a barbecue place. Let's see, I can share. What was it? What was the place called again? I want to show you the original website here. I should have done that for the other one. Yeah, let me do that. All right. So this was the Mararas website. Let's show you the original. It's not a bad website. Like, don't get me this. It's not a bad website. It really isn't. This is what the current website looks like. And then I turned it into this. I think it's much more visually pleasing.
Yeah, you sneak in a little bit of Nostra on there where you have a hidden line,
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't do it for the Mararas one, but I did it for this. I snuck in some Nostra.
Nice.
Let's see. What was I going to show?
We will take the web one.
The name of this place is Bonfire Barbecue. All right. So this website, it's a local website, but it's still pretty bad. So this is what their website looks like today. Like, it's not horrible. Don't get me wrong, but it could be so much better. They probably made, it works, right? Like, but I decided to throw this together. So what I did was I said, create a new business for the Bonfire Barbecue Restaurant. The website should focus on marketing, be modern, and showcasing the food and restaurant to attract customers and be formative for potential customers. The sections of the website should be home page, about us, menus, catering, fundraisers, and careers. The catering section should have 3 subsections for corporate events, formal events, and weddings. So what I literally did is I just described the menu. And then I literally went like this. I copied all of the text. Copied all the text, went onto the About Us page, and literally copied all the text. Okay. And then I downloaded all the images, right clicks, save as on all the images, saved all the images. And then I went back over here, and you can see I literally pasted everything. I didn't do anything special. I'm doing this like I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm a total normie, and I just want to update my web page, and I have content. So I uploaded all of the photos. You can see I uploaded the photos, and I pasted all of the text from the original website. Pretty normie. Downloaded all the menus, pasted everything together. I didn't do anything else. There was one thing it did. It placed the guy in the photo somewhere for corporate events, and I felt that felt out of place. So I said, use it somewhere else and use another photo. That's all I did there. I didn't do anything very special. And it found a better place to put the image of the guy and moved it around. Then I downloaded some more photos that I found on other pages, and I didn't do anything special with all these other images. I said, add these new photos, inspect them, view them, and determine where they should go based on the image. Really low brain effort here. I wasn't going to say fundraising should go with fundraisers. Formal events should go with, I told the AI to figure it out based on these photos from this local business. And we'll browse the whole website here. Now it gave me a nice matrix telling me where it used them, but I didn't really care about that. I didn't even read it. And then the last thing I did is said, let's add their Google Map link for directions. Oh, I also said, now there was one bug. The hamburger menu, you could probably have just said menu here. It didn't look right on mobile. It was transparent, or it was transparent, and you couldn't see some of the text. So I told it to fix that. I'll show you. I guess I slide this over. So whenever you would click on this was transparent here. So if I scrolled down to white, it was white on white, and it didn't work. So I told the AI to fix that. Again, normal conversation. We need to add their Facebook and their Instagram. Here are the links, and add a placeholder for their Nostr profile because they don't have one yet. For the careers section, we should add a careers flyer if you'd be able to view it. So anyways, what did I do? What did the AI do? I didn't do too much. I just copied and pasted text, and I guided it. So you scroll down. They're more than a restaurant. They're a community hub, and it has all their information here. Catering, 3 different menus, just exactly like I wanted. You can click on them all. They're all different pages. And go to corporate. We can go to formal events. Has their catering packages on there. I didn't tell it to put this image there. The AI figured that out. Go back and view the menu. You have different menus. You have the menu page 1. You have menu page 2. You have by the pound menu or the catering menu. All the menus. Holiday hours. It sourced all that. Their fundraiser page is there. And then their career page. Now it kind of did AI slop some of the career page, like figuring out all of these. They probably don't have all of those positions available. So what I would do before I would present this to him is I would remove all of this, because on their career page, they just had this flyer right here. And I was in the process of doing that. My last prompt was for the career section. We should be able to view the whole career flyer. So, yeah, you can click on it and it makes it full screen. So that is that. My thought was is to do a few more of these for local businesses. That way we can enhance the Soapbox small business templates from actual real small businesses. So when other restaurants join, they have, they have a starting point. They have something to work from. So that was my goal with this week.
Well,
I think it did a
I
good
think
job.
it's fantastic. And I think it's one of those things that you okay, so you put the work in and you assembled it together, present this to the company and say, how would you like this? And you kind of make them, put them in a position where they can't say no.
Yeah.
And as you were presenting this, I was thinking, this is how we break that stupid ass local stranglehold that people, like local businesses, love to run to Facebook
Mm-hmm.
instead of developing like good websites. They just say, "Oh, I'm just going to throw my information on Facebook because that's where everyone finds me." Right? Facebook, Facebook, Facebook.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what I thought I could do with this, and this is maybe, and maybe it's not a good idea. This is just a spitballing with my friend, but I could go to this bonfire place and say, "Hey, I'll help you host this. Like I'll do the last 10%. That's the hardest part, is getting them to host this on their domain if they decide they really like it. But then they're going to want to update this from time to time. So maybe I give them, $20 of credit or something like that to Shakespeare and say, hey, this is how you continue to edit your web page. Here's $20 to get you started, and let them drive. Now, because ultimately, I don't want to be a web designer consultant. I did that 20 years ago. You know, well, there you go. There you go. This one shows. This website cost me $31 to do, but that's because I had a lot of photos, and I would assume it. This one was more expensive than the other one. I don't know why. I'm assuming because of all the photos.
So is this the idea behind the workshops?
So this, I wouldn't say it's entirely behind the workshops, but the workshops are to get people to build. And I'm going to be doing a local workshop here in a month and a half, and where is going to be small business owners coming. And these small, it's going to be for the local chamber of commerce. So small businesses will want to figure out how they can update their webpage. So it's kind of a precursor to that, but workshops don't have to be for that.
Right. And downtown renovation project I know here has small business entrepreneurs meet together all the time, and I'm thinking that just starting to helping them wrap their minds around the possibilities of what AI can do in general. And
Yeah. Well, there you go, sir. We have an up and coming thing. It's called. Let me get to it here. Where is it? We're gonna get to it. It's called the Ambassador Program, with which Heather's working on to figure out what that means. But yeah, like that's the whole goal, is that if we're doing these grassroots building, that we're going to need people to go out there and help people build. So
yeah, spread the word by actually solving problems.
yeah, but yeah, that so I'm going to try to come up with a couple other of these, just local businesses, and I'm just using examples that either I discover or my friend discovers. That the funny thing is, my buddy that I keep talking about 20 years ago, like he literally sold websites, and him and I used to work together. Like he was sales and marketing, and he stayed with it in the region and knows tons of local businesses and local business owners, where I don't as much anymore that I did 20 years ago. So he's a good contact and knows all these businesses, and we can go up to businesses and target them and say, hey, would you like some help to do this? And just kind of go after that local business niche market. But the key is we need to figure out to make this easier, because the hardest part that we're trying to solve, like, is once somebody designs a website, how do they deploy it? Like, you can deploy with a couple clicks to Vercel or Netlify or our own domain, Shakespeare.wtf. But how does Val deploy her website for valsawesomewebsite.com? Like, how do we make this so Val can deploy? That's my next goal. It needs to be simple. So that's what I'm gonna try to work on to solve.
Derek, you are correct, sir, and you got to have those easy solutions, one click type of thing, and and that's not very intuitive for a lot of people, especially the non-technical. But I wanted to share with you, since I know you're local adjacent, there is an event tomorrow night that I am going to, that is local to my domain, which is going to have a handful of business owners. I will send you a message.
Yeah.
If you're available.
Yeah. Hook me up. That'd be awesome. The fourth thing I made real quick, because this was basically me just playing around, but there used to be a website years ago called, it still exists. It was whatthefuckismysocialmediastrategy.com, where it, whatthefuckismysocialmediastrategy.com. And am I not saying that right? What the fuck is my social media strategy? Yeah, well, whatever. But anyways, the website, you would go there and it would randomly generate spoof, funny social media strategies. So I made one for Noster and AI strategy. Show me all the strategies. Come up with the strategies. Be able to post the strategies to Noster. Really, really simple proof of concept. But you visit the website, you keep refreshing. Every time you refresh, you have one of 30 randomly generated AI strategies, and then you can share it to Noster. This was just something silly I made, nothing overly special, but I wanted to do it to show image generation, because Shakespeare had image generation, and I generated the background image. Cool. All right. So that's the stuff that Derek did. I want to know what you guys did this past week. Who wants to talk about their first project or ask questions?
Well, I know I've got one to show.
Sure. Let's see it, brother. I'm going to stop sharing. Let's see what you've been working on.
And I'll share my screen. This is what I call the Serenity tool. It is a vibe-coded one-page tool for working on resentments. And so resentments, the way I see it, are just things that are getting to me today.
Okay.
And so if I've got something that's bothering me today, then there's tools I can use to keep that from taking over my life, so that my entire life is just Yosemite Samming and everything, right? And so I can't say that I am a complete package. I'm a work in progress. However, these are the tools that I know to be helpful, that I've learned in like 12-step and other recovery programs. And so I started in Claude and got the basic framework of it. I told it I want it to be one file, because I don't know a whole lot about Git or how to do complex websites. I want it to be just one HTML file that I can have on 2 different computers, and that backs up to a single file, import and export a single file of all the resentments that I've listed. And so it came up with enough that I got it sort of working, but there were a few bugs and errors that I kept running back through Claude, and it kept changing it one way and changing it not how I was asking. So I imported it into Shakespeare to clean up the last two problems that I was stuck on, and it just did it immediately. So I don't know if that's going to be the pattern, but it sure worked on this one. And I'll kind of give you an idea of how it works. It stores everything locally on the device, and so that means it precludes it from being a Nostr thing. But it's also, this is like the perfect example of something that you would want private when you're working on your own stuff. So it has a add new entry, and I can add what I'm resentful towards, and choose a category for it, and the cause, what happened, what it did, prior to my ability to agree to any social contract. The Federal Reserve decided to print money and inflate, etc. So I figure out what it affects in me. It affects my ambitions, right? And it affects my financial security. That it's something beyond my control. And so the first thing that I realized when I do this is it really is beyond my control I need to figure out what can I control. Like, I can learn about the Federal Reserve. I can learn how it works. I can come up with ways that it can be communicated to others that don't yet understand how Bitcoin solves this. Learn about inflation itself, learn about economics. I can do all that thing. When I'm sitting here mad at the Federal Reserve, I can't do anything, right? So it focuses my ability to change the world on what I can actually do. But then I go to analysis. I can figure out what's my part in it. I've sat here and been mad at it for all this time when I could have been creating memes about the Federal Reserve or something, And so what is that? That's fear. That's resentment, sitting in my resentment rather than sitting and being part of the problem as opposed to being part of the solution. If an unmet need is driving this resentment or pain or fear, it's like, yeah, I've felt economic pain, and it's easier to be a victim of that and than to actually try to solve it and go out and take action to at least do what I can control. And so I try to figure out what action steps I have, and this all happens within one HTML file. And that's just by design so that it doesn't get too complicated for me, and I can copy that file straight to my host if I want to host it on a website or something, or if I want to just copy and paste it from one computer to another, it's just one file. And so anyway, if I save this entry and I export it, then I can export it printed as a PDF, or I can export it as a file. And then if I say refresh the page, and let's see, how would I say I'll open it up again.
Your screen share stopped when you closed it to reopen it.
All right, thanks. All right, well, let's do this. If I delete that, then it's all right. I've still got it backed up. So I import it from that file. And there it is. So I can edit it if I think of something new. And, oh, sorry, part of the action steps is, the idea is prayer, and you can think of it like meditation. I want to have positive thoughts replace what the negative thoughts were. So to try to get a new habit, I just 2 weeks to think about it in a different light, in the new light of what I've learned. So if I commit to doing that for 2 weeks, then the idea is that changes my mind about that, and then I can have a positive experience each time I think of it rather than a negative experience each time I think of it. And so this app keeps track of that. You can see all of the things that you have made a commitment to do, and 2 weeks later it'll roll it off that list. So it's just a way to keep track of all the stuff. And the reason that's kind of under this structure is because that's what the 12 steps kind of teach. But my idea was that Alcoholics Anonymous is kind of like a secret door. that keep people anonymous. And for me, it doesn't bother me not to be anonymous, but it's very important to keep other people's anonymity. And so, the vulnerability, the disadvantage of that is that people who need it don't know about it, and also that it's so framed around alcoholics that people who don't have a problem with alcohol don't think about that as something that might have something advantageous to them. But it's really just a book of how to change behavior to make your life better. And so the parts of it that I think apply to everyone are kind of I tried to get into this one simple app, and I think it's a good example of how AI can pull in information from all kinds of different places and just make a really focused step-by-step solution for it. Because what I did with Claude in the first place was I just uploaded the big book of AA, the two main books that make up AA, the 12 steps and 12 traditions in the big book, and I just uploaded them. I said, take the principles from these programs and create me a step 4 and step 9 inventory app, and it gave me most of what you see here. Of course, I did a lot of work trying to make sure it was secure and private, because I didn't know if AI would really take that into account. But it worked real well, and when I brought it into Shakespeare, see that it shows it on the right side as the code that was created, but then on the left side, I just speak in plain language, like you were talking about, and I just ask it, "Did it work? you know, did your changes work?" It was like, "No, actually, they didn't." And so then it just fixed it, and at the end, it gives like a total summary of everything that it's done in, let's see, where was that, in beautiful language, that works well as just a summary of updates. So it not only does what I'm asking, but it also summarizes what it's done in a way that can help explain to other people what's happened. So it's good for, when usually an app gets updated, they'll put like a list of the changes that come up, and a lot of times it's something that's over my head. But you can have Shakespeare write it, and then you can have it rewrite it even more, explain like I'm 5 years old, and then it's also like a accurate and clean marketing language. So I guess that's it. That's the Serena tool, and it's not something that I would host somewhere. It's just something that people can download from a file, and so I put it on a website that I've created that for people who do 12-step work.
Nice. No, that's
And
great.
yeah.
You seem to be interested in creating self-help, mental health tools, and that's great. I think that this is definitely beneficial for certain niche communities, the groups of people. It's great. I appreciate you sharing that with us. Thank you.
So thanks.
Yeah, it goes along with like we've had Seth and Heather create adjacent apps before, so it's nice to see people building apps to help people. Very cool. Keep building. Seth, Heather, Patrick, Val, who wants to go next? Who has something to share?
I got stuck with design, Derek. I was telling everybody earlier. I've been building, but I got kind of stuck because there's too many things, and I wanted to make it as easy of a user experience for people. And so I'm trying to kind of draw stuff. Actually, I tried doing some stuff with, like, I think it's called UX Pilot,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the design is really important because I don't want people to get overwhelmed with opening up the app every day, because I want it to be something that's like joyful and it's like their favorite part of the day.
Yeah,
You know?
design now, I'll say, is easier. The fact that Shakespeare and other AI tools can read actual images, so you can draw something, have a designer create something. You can even copy a design from an existing application where you like something, or take a screenshot of something and edit it, to your liking, and then say, "Hey, make this. I want the UI to look like this."
Yeah,
And
it's
it will.
pretty cool, man. It's like I feel like we have like a cheat code with all this stuff.
Right. We literally do. The fact that we can do this now, and it blows my mind thinking, what will we be able to do in 6 months? Because I know what we could do 6 months ago, and we couldn't do this.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I told Heather, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I'm like, can we really build this thing that I've been wanting to build for like a year and a half? And she's like, yeah, it's totally doable. I'm like, fuck yeah.
What's going to end up happening is you'll get it done, and then maybe 6 months to a year from now, new AIs will come out, and they'll be more capable to do certain things, and you'll end up like feeding it your current version of your project, and you'll say, "Hey, let's add this. Let's completely redesign this. Let's do this," because you couldn't do something before, like you couldn't get it right, and now you'll be able to. So something like that will happen. Like we're at this weird point where like every 6 months you can redesign your app now when the new AIs come out if you want to. It's completely wild.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts, especially with all this agents and just crazy. I don't know. I've been watching a lot of videos lately just about
it. I was talking to two guys. Said my friend, and then a friend of his today. His friend that I just met, he vibe codes his stuff, and he's been vibe coding music. He's been creating AI music, but he's doing AI music different than anybody I've ever heard of, in the at least in the Wave Lake and Fountain space. And
what's his name?
His name is Eli, Eli Ace, ACE. You can find his music on Spotify. He's created 736 songs,
Oh my gosh.
and he has them all. They're all based on. I mean, he has songs across a dozen different genres. Classical, jazz, everything. And he has all these different personas, like all these different artists. And then he literally goes around and submits. He built a tool that he goes around and submits all of the music that he makes to all of the places, submitted everywhere except for Fountain or Wave Lake, 'cause he never heard of them. To the fact where his AI music that he's playing, I can hold up my phone, and if I'm using Siri or Google or Shazam, whatever I'm using, the songs are actually detected and recognized, like the song DNA works. And I said, wow, none of our indie artists do this. This is insane. I was like, we need to get together and do cool stuff. But my point of this whole story is that 6 months ago, you could not do any of that. So the rate of things that are changing and happening in 6 months, who knows? Maybe you'll be able to do that with movies. I don't know. It's absolutely wild. I'm still learning and seeing cool things every single day.
Oh my, and what makes it so, are you saying it's different because of how he's doing distribution or more of how he's doing creation?
Both. He's working with a musician that's been a musician for 40 years, and saying, I want this type of sound. I want to create this type of sound, and I want this type of violin, or I want this type of guitar sound, or whatever. And then they're sourcing that from other artists, and then having AI recreate a similar type sound. And then he's writing the actual specific music, and he's just a very creative person. So he's using all of his tools together, but he's creating all this music with Lovable and Suno.
That's super cool. I want to learn. I'm just looking at him up on Spotify, and we're still like we're working on the Satoshi the cyber opera still, and we're meeting a couple times a week. And our guy TJ has put together the coolest. I mean, such beautiful music. And I'm like, we need to get humans to perform this. It's really neat that AI's made all this stuff, but it's like,
Yeah.
it's definitely like we need great artists.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, it's just going to be another tool, right? Like,
yeah.
developers say that that they don't want to use it, but it's just another tool. Whereas DJs, musicians will maybe they'll use it for certain things, just because it's just another tool in their creator toolkit.
It is, and I remember back in the old days when I used to DJ on vinyl, and everybody started DJing on like CDs, and people were like, "No one's going to DJ on CDs. This is stupid," And people are like, "I don't have to fucking lug 80 pounds of records that only have this many songs," and then it turned into this whole like now we're just on thumb drives. So it's like,
So yeah, technology just keeps advancing. Like,
yeah.
who knows where we'll be? We're as long as we keep building and keep learning.
But it's just that it's that initial resistance, I think, of like,
Mhm.
folks who are just like, I'm not going to do this new thing, and so yes, you are. Everyone is. So
Yeah, you're gonna fall behind if you don't. That's
yeah, seriously, like exponentially behind, because back in the day, like everybody didn't have a phone and everybody didn't have a computer. Now everybody's got both of those things, everybody who's doing stuff. So it's just like if you're not at pace with that, like you're
Yep.
going to be smoked, in all of these areas. So anyways, it's a little, yeah.
It's got ups and downs. I mean, it also kind of makes vinyl collections that much more precious.
Yeah, I mean that's maybe why we're seeing a resurgence in that too, because there are the groups of people that want their authentic, human created.
They
rare
do.
stuff.
And, and
Yeah.
and that's like the blessing, right? You can have both. And so it's not one or the other. So I don't know. I just think it's really neat for the future of creativity. Like if somebody gave you a whole new crayon box with all these new colors, are you just going to say, no, I'm just going to use these? I'd be like, fuck yeah, give me some more colors, Like, this is
Exactly.
cool.
That's a great way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea to use it for an outline. That's literally what I do. I literally come up when I'm going to write a new article for Soapbox. I literally come up with all of the napkin sentences of everything I want, and then I say, "Hey, put this in an outline for me," and then from there I start writing things. Like it's just, why wouldn't you do this? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, I think that it's probably the bad time for me to come to this realization, but I realized today that pretty much many of us are working to take away our jobs in a few years. So where we'll have to reinvent ourselves. Uh huh.
Yeah. Stack harder. And Well, everybody is. It is reinventing ourselves, and that's okay. It's going to be a
Yep.
little awkward for a minute, but yeah. Yeah, it's like doing that. I mean, when when I graduated college a long time ago, I worked I worked at Deloitte and Touche, and I was an
Did they
accountant.
have cars back then, Val?
They did. They had wheels and fire and everything. And but I worked in Detroit at Deloitte and Touche at this, it was at the time it was a big six accounting, and I'm like, oh, woohoo, I'm gonna go in. And this was in 92. And I and I was, just doing accounting and everything. And they hand me this stack, and it was literally like, the old pages that were all like stuck together with the holes in the side of them. And it was like, maybe like a 2-foot stack of paper. And and it was all connected. And I had to go through line by line and audit things. And I just was like, a fucking monkey could do this. What are you talking about? And this was obviously way before we had, computers for everybody to use the at scale. So I'm just like, there's got to be a better way to do auditing of line by line by line by line by line. But it's like, yay, good. That job gets deleted from a human, because humans shouldn't have to do stupid work like that. Like, let's free us up to do more creative work and intelligent work and one-on-one personal work. It's super, it's so I think, that's going to be an interesting shift. And I think, my prediction for the next year, at least, year, is people who are doing community, people who are doing, human work, more, one-on-one stuff like that is going to thrive. Like, part of my past business model was courses, and I still think courses have validity to do step-by-step learning, but you can ask the AI to make you a course. You don't need to pay a course creator to do it. Um, so the value I think people are going to get as coaches or consultants and whatnot is going to be like, okay, let's get systems for you to achieve your goals. Like JBN, you've got, your cool app. It's like, cool. Here now, if you want some more accountability, you can get a human to help you. Sure, you can get AI to help you, but it's not the same. And most people cheat. They're like, of course, yeah, I went to the gym for 2 hours. No, you didn't. Um, whatever. So it's just like having humans just be real and love you no matter what. And because the machines will, you can lie to the machines and then feel good about yourself. So this will be an interesting time, I think, for like community leaders and coaches and educators and stuff. So
Well, I,
yeah.
I really like your vision that we can focus more on each other rather than tedium.
Yeah, I think, it's a tool, right? And so that's all it is. And hopefully it's still gonna keep us alive and not try to kill us. There's so many different people with different perspectives on like, oh, AI is gonna be this great thing, and other people are like, yeah, there's a 20% chance it'll kill us, like everyone. I'm like, that doesn't seem like a very good ratio. Like, that's a bad percentage.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah, innovation at its best brings costs down. And the other side of that, I think, is that Nostr is going to help us connect with the people who are most reflective of the possibilities and opportunities that we're looking for. For instance, I can't really vibe code myself a job, but Nostr can help me find people who have employment opportunities, and I can, you know, matching skills with needs more effectively and for lower cost and more efficiently.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sat shoot. Sat shoot, where it's the Nostr Fiverr. No, but I was saying the name of an app that already exists. Yes.
Well, there's BitTasker too. I don't know if he's got. I'm just
Yeah, the
looking.
new one, BitTasker. Yeah.
Yeah, I met this dude John. His name, if it's the same people, his name's John down in El Salvador. He donated some land to the orphanage. Let's see, built BitTasker. Yeah, made in El Salvador. What are you guys' thoughts when you see websites where people don't put the pictures of the founders and stuff? For anything, like, just, I don't know. I mean, obviously, if it's a privacy website for, whatever, I get it.
Depends on the website, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I know. It's intimidating. I'm on BitTasker right now. You can get a head and scalp massage for 5,800 sats in in Berlin. I'm gonna go get my head and scalp massage. Oh my God, I love it. All right. Well, yeah, it's definitely like geared. I need a yogi coach. There you go. But they don't want to pay for it. I mean, they didn't put a thing up. Uh, that's so interesting. So yeah, this is decent. It's not like, I mean, it's everything's in El Salvador, so it's not like all over the world, but I think it's a good idea. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
I'll say, I mean, it used to be like that. I don't know if it still isn't anymore. I've kind of worked out of town for the past 16 years, so like nobody like knows. I don't know anybody or know what's going on anymore. But used to when I was younger, yeah, I would go everywhere and know everybody, and everybody would know me. Yep. Anyways, let's wrangle her all back in here. So
Yeah.
do you have anything that you want to share at all, Val? Or are you good?
No, I'm good. I'm gonna
Okay.
keep building this week, and I've got, like I said, I got this other little side thing that I'm working on too. So I'll share that maybe next week.
Cool.
And see how it's going.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank
Good luck
you
at
guys.
your design, and if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, are you gonna do that new media thing in I think it's in Austin that I'd sent you a little while
Yeah,
back?
Yeah, I sent that to MK and Alex because they're only a couple hours away from it, and they thought that it was an interesting idea, but we haven't talked about it since I sent that to them a couple months ago. So, and we need to.
Do you know Cody Sanchez?
No, I don't know who any of
Cody
these people are.
Sanchez is the shit. She's just this young powerhouse, and she's a Bitcoiner. But she's like basically Main Street millionaires. She talks about, she teaches people entrepreneurship and, boring. Her thing is boring businesses, right? Like, how do you make money with doing boring businesses? And so she's really, really into, helping people live their dreams, but she's a Bitcoiner. So I think it's an interesting possible overlap, with Noster because of obviously media from Noster, and I don't know. It just seems like it could be something that you guys might want to go to and speak, like put a proposal to be a speaker.
Yeah, no, I that's what I had said. I said, we could go there and give a talk. But yeah, I'll ping them as a reminder that it's coming up here, and maybe we can think of something, figure something out.
Do you guys have like a pre-packaged, just one pager to say what you could do for a talk?
We have our media kit that I'm sure we could copy and paste or send them. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Shakespeare's one thing. Yeah, Shakespeare's one thing, and then Noster just in and of itself is another. And obviously, you can talk about Shakespeare under the, but I think just the concept of Noster, most people have no fucking clue what Noster is. And the more people can hear, like getting in front of other people's audiences like that, I mean.
Well, I'm hoping that here in the near future, a lot of people will, through Divine. That's my goal.
Yay.
But yes, I would love to go and introduce Noster to that audience.
Yeah, I think that's where we're going to really, I mean, it's one thing for all of us to go to the Bitcoin conferences. It's like, okay, cool. We'll talk.
Yeah, when you get outside our bubble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think over the next 18 months, that'll be a really neat thing to do. I don't have any plans to travel or do anything for a while, but if you guys need help with stuff, let me know, and I'm happy to support.
I will ping the powers that be, and we'll talk about it again.
Cool. Yay. Well.
All right. Well, Heather, thank you, Val. Heather or Patrick, do you want to talk about anything in particular that you've built, want to showcase?
I'm messed up. I still
working on your super secret side project.
Yeah, still. I tried to make a text messaging thing, and I've realized that it's more bureaucratic BS that why it doesn't exist than.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I don't think I can do it. Oh yeah, they put me as part of their like little, I guess, Advent type calendar type thing.
You're in the Advent for Nut December.
I think I'm going to speak at the
Christmas nuts.
Yeah, right. I think Thursday
Yeah.
I'm going to speak to the dev call for Cashew about Nostra Blue.
Nice.
So that'd be fun.
Oh, Nostra Blue is awesome. I was thinking about that earlier when we were talking about music, finding music in the sea of options.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's been fun building out like the music side, and now the podcast side, trying to get like RSS feeds to load into it as well. Which I just saw another somebody shared another client that takes media from like Time One and also has like a universal player. I thought that was real cool. So if you
Oh,
start like a
interesting.
YouTube video, it automatically keeps it stored in that universal player, so you can watch whatever as you go along. Thought that was a cool idea.
Yeah, nice. Okay, well, I look forward to whenever you're ready to do the sharing. Heather, do you have anything you worked on you want to talk about or share? Ooh.